Masad Batra Daf Kuf Chaf Tet, continuing from Kuf Chaf Het Amud Bet, 28 lines down. Darash Mar Zutra Mishmed Rav Sim Bar Asher Hachak B'Chwan Nishmat Tzav Doresh. The halacha is, Mar Zutra says, the halacha in all these cases that we brought down just now, Kiteshalach Le Rabbi Abba Le Rav Yosef Bar Hama, according to that which Rabbi Abba said. The halacha is like Rabbi Abba in every case. Rabbi Rav Asher, Rabbi asks, hold on a second. Rav Nachman Mai, what's the halacha Rav Nachman said? Rav Nachman said that uh, a guy who owed money cannot collect the debt as a slave. And then we see another halacha that you can. So who's that according to? The Gemara says, Emar we have to fix it. En govin b'matnetin la. We learn Rabbi Abba's halacha that we don't collect. V'chein Amar Nachman, and Nachman agrees. Okay, so that's the case. If everybody agrees, then what are we saying? Oh, the halacha is like Rabbi Abba. If no one's arguing, what are you excluding? Where it says, if you're trying to exclude what Rava said earlier, that one Rabbi Marav brought down the opinion of the third generation, and then Rabbi mentioned a person can testify regarding his own great uncle. That's not necessarily an argument. Mosifu, he's adding another point to the case, to the ruling. He's adding another point to the halacha. Therefore, it's not arguing. He's just adding to the halacha. Either more Barav Ashi is trying to exclude more Barav Ashi. That's also not necessary. We say the halacha is not like more Barav Ashi that you can testify regarding your grandfather. You're trying to exclude we also knocked him out already. So what are we trying to exclude? The Gemara says Ella must be to exclude Rabbi Yochanan, who said earlier that a guy is believed to testify on his own firstborn, even against Hadakah, and to knock out Rav Ashi's knockout that Rav Ashi said that doesn't make sense, to knock out the concept of Motibah Miksat when there's a guy testifying, when his testimony after admitting half, he said that if the Edim testified on him, he still should be patur from swearing. And we said, now we're saying that no, he's still chayav swearing. Okay. Mishnah mentioned that the guy is dividing his properties to his sons verbally, and he's adding or decreasing shares to each child. We mentioned if he's saying it as inheritance, it does not work, but if he says gift in the beginning, middle, or end, it goes through. So, what does it mean beginning, middle, end? Says as follows: sentence this field shall be given to this son, and he shall inherit it. That's he said, since he said giving in the beginning, it works. He says this person shall inherit and it should be given to him. The word giving is at the end. He shall inherit, given, and he shall inherit. The word giving is in the middle. All three cases, because it mentioned given at one point, it goes through. But that only applies where the giving and the inheriting is made from to one person regarding the same field. Let's say he says one field given, one field inheritance. The giving doesn't help that second field. The second field that was used for, that was said via inheritance, won't go through. It says, even if it's one field, one person and two fields. So or one field, two people, that word giving would help the other side. If you have two people and two fields, that's completely separate. Even Rabbi Elazar would agree that it does not work. He said, this field shall be given to so and so, and he shall inherit another field. Two fields, two people. Rabbi Yochanan works. Rabbi Elazar doesn't connect. You made it easy in one statement. You made it difficult in another statement. Why? It's not a contradiction in Lazar in two questions, even though seemingly it is, because why? In Rav Dimi's halacha, which says that it works, is Lazar is referring to a case where it's one person in two fields. And over here, where it says it does not work, is where there's two people in two fields. But the Rabbi Yochanan is still a question. It's a stira, direct stira. How does it make sense that it doesn't work? The Gemara says regarding the Rabbi Yochanan, and therefore, if they're allowed to argue, he just doesn't hold like it. If you're saying giving and inheriting two fields, two people does not work. Until he says plani plani yiresh sedel plani plani, so and so shall inherit these two fields. That I'm giving to him as a gift, I'm inheriting them. He kind of swallowed in the giving and inheriting to both of them at the same time, to both fields, both people. That's the only way it worked. Okay, Bepilta. the same machloket Amar Rav Huna lo shanu ela adam achav sdei echad. There's no when it works regarding giving, it only works when it's the same one person in one field. Aval adam echad shesh lo one person in two fields. Sdei echad shnei panim one field and two people. Lot does not work. The Rebbe Hanan Nachman says afil adam b'shnei echad or shnei sidot. Even one person and two fields. So then echad shnei panim or one field two people. Both works. Aval shnei sidot shnei dam adam lo, but two and two does not work. Even two and two would work. If someone who's appointing someone to someone else to take care of his estate after he passes away, and he tells the trustee, you give a shekel to my sons each week for their expenses. But really they need more than one shekel, they need two shekels for their expenses. You give two. Because we obviously see that the guy wanted to take care of his kids, and therefore, if they need more, they should get more. The Imam already said, "Al titnu lehen el shekel." Only give them a shekel. En notin lehen el shekel. You only give them a shekel, even if they need more. The Imam already said to them, "Emetu." If the kids were to die, Yerushu acharim tazayim, then let someone else inherit it. Ben shamar tinu, ben b'shamar lotinu. Doesn't make a difference how he said give them the shekalim. En notin el shekel. You still cap it at that first shekel, no matter what their expenses are, because obviously he has his eye on giving this property to someone else. And over there, this case, Rosh is saying that this is like comparable to two fields and two people, because the field and the sons and the other person, the other third party, is like an inheritance and gift. But then it kind of says it works. So we see that it works. Gemara says, he raised the question, then he answered himself. But it really shows that's not talking about a case of a third party completely. Rather, it's referring to another person who's able to inherit the father. Rabbi Yochanan ben Raki is going to Rabbi Yochanan ben Raki, who said that a person can assign his inheritance to another person at will. Okay, is being proved. If someone says to someone else that his property shall be given over upon his death, after he dies, after you die, they shall go to this person. After that person dies, so shall get it. The halacha is as follows: the first guy dies first. The second guy gets it. The second guy dies next. The third guy gets it. Let's say the second guy died before the first guy died. It cuts it, and then the first guy's inheritors get it, and it doesn't go to the third person. In that case, seemingly, it's like two people, two fields, and we see that it works, even though it goes through inheritance and giving, even though it's two separate going on. We say it works. The Gemara says, maybe you want to answer some of the case where also the number two. Number three, rather, is another person who's going to inherit him. When the second person dies, it goes to the third person. That you want to do this successive property going through inheritance to the next person. The first person is supposed to get it. And the second guy doesn't get anything. After the first guy dies, it goes to his family. So we see, this was given as a gift and not inheritance. It was not given as a gift, it was given inheritance, and therefore virusha and lahefsek, inheritance doesn't get stopped. So obviously it's talking about a case where two separate people and the third party involved is not in line to inherit, and it still works. The Gemara says tiyufta dekul, it's a question against everybody tiyufta, it's a good question. Now the Gemara says lema nami to have it to the Reish Lakish, maybe it's a question against Reish Lakish as well. The Gemara says v'tizbra, how does that make sense? We know the halacha is according to Reish Lakish in three certain cases, as we'll see in Yevamot. Kan, in the Batra, it says it works by giving another party. That's if he's saying it together at the same time as inheritance. Technically, divorce is a certain amount of seconds. You're combining two things. So he says, I want to give and inherit, that doesn't work. Kan, when Reish Lakish is ruling where it does not work, is when time passed. So he said, okay, I want to give this field to this person, pause, a minute later, and I want this person to inherit. That's when they don't combine. Anytime you have a toch dibur, which means anytime you add something to something previously, it works. It can retract it or it could change it. Libar, except to make something avodah zarah. Someone says this phone should be avodah zarah. Boom, it works. Even if you say afterward, no, never mind. No, it's too late. Even toch dibur. And another thing that works that is unretractable, even toch dibur within those 4 seconds, is kiddushin. The kiddushin. Get a marriage proposal, someone says Hadad Kudesh Li, and you put the ring on her finger and you say, nope, no such thing as retracting, it automatically still works. Amen, amen.